Am I ever nervous? I'm making a new YouTube video for this new company that I'm working at, and dude, I make a YouTube video every single day, but this one I'm actually putting full effort into it. You know, if you saw the title of this video, you're probably like, this guy only has 2.9 thousand subscribers. His last video got like 50 views. Fuck off. Why should I listen to him? And that's a very good question. But hopefully, I will make it clear. I've gotten hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube, and I know how to make videos that pop off, okay? So that's what I'm going to show you how to do. The thing is, I just don't do that for my channel because it's not about that, at the moment at least. But for this, it is about views, and it's about having a strategy for getting these views, for making money with your YouTube content. So I want to briefly talk about what this project is and how this works, and then tell you how you can do it yourself. So yeah, man, I'm nervous. Built Right, we're helping contractors basically to do their marketing, and I'm making it for roofers. Bro, I'm 22. I've never picked up a hammer in my life. That's a lie, but you know, I've never fucking done anything like this. I'm like so nervous, no one's gonna want to listen to me. The video style has to be right for people to actually want to listen. So there's all these kind of variables to see if this video works, and there's a lot of testing that needs to happen later on. But what I do know is how to actually make a good video, okay? The guarantee is not that every video pops off, and not that you will start your YouTube channel and instantly know what video style you want to run and, you know, exactly what your strategy is. But the point is that you actually have a framework after watching this video for how to create good videos. So, let's break it down. There are a few different stages. I'm going to say the first stage is impression and packaging, okay? And actually, let's just talk about... Alright, hang on. Okay, so here we go. We got a nice document here. Step number 0, before you even start on your video, is the overall channel strategy, okay? So there's a few different factors to think about here, but number 1 is your audience, okay? So you need to know exactly who you're trying to target with your videos and how you're going to reach them. So one thing you could do is, like for us, we're selling to, you know, contractors, and we have a specific type of contractor we're looking for. We're not looking for people who are just getting into it. We're actually looking for people who are serious about it. They have real businesses, and we can actually help them. And so that's going to influence our strategy, how we pick the video topics, how we pick the video style. Everything like that is cascades down from the overall strategy and audience that you choose, okay? So there's a few different things, like there's a few, you know, there's a million different niches in YouTube, and so you kind of have to pick a niche. Like ours is basically like contractors and kind of blue collar, like local businesses. And then from there, there's the type. So type of this niche. So for us, that's going to be like established businesses. And then there's also the actual style of the video, okay? So like this is going to come from what kind of does well in your niche. So if we check out, if I just do a search for get leads for contractor, okay, this is essentially our value proposition. If we just do a search for this, we can kind of see some of these styles. We can see it's basically just talking head style. We can see the thumbnails, what they tend to look like. And essentially all you have to do is stand out just a little bit in your niche, okay? Because I made the mistake when I first started on YouTube. I had a YouTube channel called Chariots. You kind of have to search this because it's kind of a long, it's kind of lost SEO. But if we go here, I kind of made the mistake of copying a very popular channel that was already popular. And so I got comments, which I didn't really heed at the time, but they basically said budget Donut Media, which is the other channel that was killing it, Donut Media. And they said budget Donut Media. One guy said Wish Donut Media, which is funny, like Wish, the Amazon, you know, shitty version. So I made the mistake of basically copying them straight off with all the thumbnails and all the content, and everything like that. And because of that, my channel never really popped off. I mean, my biggest video had 16,000 views, whereas on this new channel, I got that in like my second video of actually posting. And so this is one thing to look at, is what are the videos, what do they look like now, and how can you improve just so slightly, just ever so slightly on those, okay? So let's go back. So now our step one is going to be the packaging, okay? And this is going to be essentially, maybe we could just call this idea, this is going to be about a third of the work of actually creating the idea, or at least it should be, okay? So there's a few different things that you could focus on. So the first thing, I'll make this a numbered list, is going to be topic, all right? So one thing I found is I have this extension called vidIQ. This is free just to get this nice kind of side panel. And so what you can do is you can type in a query and it'll tell you an overall score. So if we see for this, there's a medium search volume, but there's very low competition for this search term. And you can see this video from 3 years ago, it got 140,000 views. And if we do leads for roofers, then this is similar. So it's low competition and medium volume. But if we were to do, so we actually primarily kind of get our foot in the door with websites. If we were to do websites for roofers, watch this score right here. So 56 down to 52. All right, hang on. Okay, so I'm back. So roofing leads. So we're just going super general here. So if we go roofing leads, we got 57 and then low competition. So that's overall 63. And if we go roofing website, what we're going to see is that this is medium volume but very high competition, okay? So we could make a video about this, but it's already going to get outcompeted by all these videos that have been around for a while and that have many more views, and their channels have been around for a lot longer. And so there's less of a point of going after that niche. But this video idea, this is just a part of it, okay? So this is kind of your topic. This is what the body of your video will be based on. I'll talk about that in a minute. So we'll go topic, and then the next thing is going to be the packaging, okay? So how do you actually describe this idea and get people to click on it? Because the whole kind of fundamental thing of YouTube is getting people to click on your video. If no one ever clicks on your video, you will never go anywhere, okay? Even if you have the best videos in the world, no one's going to watch it, right? So this consists of your thumbnail and your title. And then the topic, of course, is what you'll weave in to those. So I just want to show you some examples. So when we go to my thumbnail and title planning, the topic is getting leads for roofers, okay? But I started out, this is based on an Alex Hormozy video that did pretty well. So Alex Hormozy has a video where if we go to his channel and we go videos popular, we'll see this. So how to get so rich you question the meaning of making money. This is one of the questions. This is, I think, the video that I based that title off of. And so what you could do is you can use videos from other niches to get inspiration for your title and for the way to package this idea, okay? And so that's essentially what this title implies. Now, I'm not going to actually choose this title because there was another video that did extremely well in this niche, but it was for like 2023. So I'm updating it for 2025, doing a better thumbnail and a better title, and that will work ideally better than that other video did. Now we'll see whether people trust my face or not, because obviously I'm not a obviously I don't have 30 years in the business. I do have a lot of experience with digital marketing, but we'll have to see, what they think. Now, what I ended up doing is I created this title, and then I had a few different endings that I think might work, okay? And so this is, you can only choose one title. You can test multiple thumbnails, but what you want to do is you want to choose a title that'll work with multiple thumbnails. So the best title that'll work with multiple thumbnails. And then for the thumbnails, you can add something onto the title. So one of the biggest mistakes I see here is people, they'll make their video name be how to get roofing leads in 2025, and then the thumbnail would be like how to get roofing leads. Like, it just repeats what the title says. That's a complete waste of real estate and does not make the video any more interesting. What you want to do is you want to add something else on to the title itself, and essentially, like, especially something that inspires curiosity. So if we go to my photo editor, this is called Pixelmator Pro. Fun fact, they just got acquired by Apple, interestingly enough. And so hopefully I can make this so you can see it. But what we're doing here is, okay, let me show you where this whole idea is coming from. So if I go to Upflip, this is one company that is just killing it in the niche of kind of local businesses. And if we look at their thumbnails, this is exactly what I'm going for, because they've set a precedent for what does well in this niche. And if a certain type of thumbnail or title does well in your niche, you should absolutely copy that. You can improve on it in the future, but you should be copying what the best people are doing in your niche or in related niches, because obviously it works. Okay, so what I did is I looked at these. You can see the contrast is turned way up, and then they have some type of figure on this thumbnail. Okay, so you can see, especially we can see how this weaving of the title and the thumbnail is perfectly executed by these guys. So they have how Blacktail Studio makes $15K a month woodworking, but then the title says turning $800 into a $180,000 a year business. So that's sort of restating the idea, but it's adding kind of more information and more context, like 180K a year. That big number tends to look good and tends to attract clicks. And if we go to this one, I mean, you got the big truck here. That kind of draws in your attention and your curiosity. And the title is 19-year-old starts a trucking business, and you can see it says 100K a month. So this is kind of the idea of weaving in different kind of interesting things that catch people's attention into the thumbnail and title, because again, that impression is huge. So I spent a long time today working on this thumbnail to try to get this right. So what you can do is, it's now natively supported, is you can test multiple different thumbnails with your video, up to 3. So we have this one, which is avoid these scams. So this is meant to kind of get people curious, where they go, oh, what scams should I be worried about, right? Because if we can get people to be thinking that that this video contains information that they need to know, because a scam kind of invokes a feeling of fear, that's extremely powerful for getting people to click. Like, some of the highest viewed videos on YouTube, I mean, Mr. Beast doesn't exactly do this, but if you look at people like Graham Stephan or whatever, like financial people, they always, like 90% of the time, their title is something like, avoid this crash or this terrible thing about to happen. And obviously they're just catastrophizing, I think that's the word. They're just fucking blowing out of proportion whatever it is, but their videos get views and they do well, and generally I think their audience is quite dumb, but at least they're sort of satisfied. So anyways, you don't want to be like super clickbaity, because you'll kind of train people to ignore your videos, but you do want to invoke that fear if possible. Okay, so then we have just top 4 strategies. So this kind of adds to the title. This is also drawn from another video that I'm sort of basing mine on, where it actually did pretty well, and they were basically saying top 4 strategies for marketing, so I'm going to be trying that. And then this one, $83,000 per month. This is kind of just a made-up number, but this is to get people's attention once again. Oh, and then we have stop, don't use this. And if I turn those on, and then how do I forget how to get rid of these like boxes around here, but these shouldn't be here. It's just kind of a rendering issue. So anyways, yeah, I don't know why that's there, but regardless, you get the idea. And then for this video, I just put over posterize, sharpen, a little bit of noise, just to kind of give that really like pop of the thumbnail, because we want to be getting people's attention and then getting their click. Okay, so that's basically the idea behind the first part of it, is the packaging. Okay, so now we move on to step number 2, which is the writing. Okay, and writing is, I mean, it's not as important as the packaging, but this is, okay, there's one very important part to this, which is the hook. Okay, and we'll talk about this more in a second when we come to step number 3. But the hook is the first 30 seconds of the video, and this has to be fucking flawless. You have to basically there's a few different things that you can weave into the hook, okay? So the first thing is going to be getting their attention somehow and confirm interest. So like when someone clicks on a video where it says like 19-year-old made 100 grand a month or whatever, in the first 30 seconds you can say this 19-year-old made $100,000 in a month, blah blah blah, and kind of confirm to the viewer that they clicked on the right video and that they're actually going to get what they wanted when they clicked on the thumbnail. So this can also be like listing out what you're going to talk about. So if it was a video that's like, the worst things, like the economy, the stock market is screwed, then in this section you would say, there's been a huge development, the government recently said this thing, and I'm going to tell you what that means. And all of a sudden they know that they're about to actually have their questions, like it's not like an actual question that they ask, but it's an internal kind of subconscious question where their brain is wanting to know what it's about, okay? So basically you talk about what you're going to talk about, and then it's important to also get right into the content, because if someone doesn't like your hook and you just you're like, okay, and into the content after this intro, and you play like an intro, you're going to lose people there because they're like, okay, I know what this video is about, and I'm not really that interested, okay? So then the content, the body of the video, this is basically exactly what you were going to talk about in the hook, okay? So basically all you have to do in the content of the video is just go through everything you said you were going to outline and actually go into depth about it and try to provide real value, because the only reason people are watching your video is that they're actually getting value, whether that's entertainment or new information that they didn't have before or whatever, right? So that's basically the content. Pretty simple. Honestly, you don't have to worry about it too much. We'll talk about that in a second as well. But do try to include value, okay? Value as in things that they might not know, or just be entertaining, or whatever your value proposition is. Then lastly, we have the call to action. So if you have a call to action, if you have a product you're selling or something you're trying to get people to do, like subscribe, then this is a good place to ask for it. You can also sprinkle these in throughout the content, but at the end, you always want to have something, okay? Especially if you have more videos previously, you can kind of do a tie-in to your last video, because YouTube loves these kind of run-on sessions where they watch one of your video and then they go watch another video and then another. So what you can do is at the end of your video, you can say, like for this roofing video, if I had a video already up about like Facebook ads, I could say, yeah, and then, the last strategy here is Facebook ads. I'm not going to get too deep into it because I already made a video right here. Go ahead and click on it. And you just point, and then you put the video card right here, and you don't give them any warning that the video is about to end, and then they basically have to click on that video to keep the stimulation going. So that's writing. Again, I mean, with this, you just want to make sure to focus on the hook, okay? Because if you get people hooked, like if you notice with comedy movies, writing comedy is extremely hard. If you look at the best comedians in the world, they probably write, they have an hour of good content at the end of a year. So it takes them a year to write 1 hour of good content. And if you think about like a comedy movie or a show, oftentimes they don't have that much time to write. And so what they do is they front load all of the comedy. So the first episode or the first 10 or 20 minutes of the movie will be really funny. They'll have you dying laughing, and it'll be like, bro, this movie is the shit. And then if you notice, midway through the movie, it's not as funny. The jokes have kind of dried up, and that's on purpose because you've already subconsciously decided, I like this movie. So they can kind of retain you and give you a better impression of the content overall if they front load some of that, value in comedy, all right? But moving on to editing, one hack that you can use is just edit first 30 seconds, okay? If you have a bunch of video ideas and you're not sure which ones to focus on, and you're just trying to crank out videos, just editing the first 30 seconds is extremely good for getting that retention up. Because what you can do is you can basically make it so that people get hooked, just like we're front loading the kind of comedy and value. you can front load a lot of the editing and stimulation for a video. So you would add things like music. Music's good, flashy titles, and then also footage can be good that really like people want to see more of. So if you have something you're going to talk about later in the video, like, I don't know, this weird example comes to mind where it's like some invention where it's like, I built, you know, a robot that plays FPS games for me. You could show like 2 seconds or 1 second of that robot playing, and that stimulates their mind to want to see more of it. You like don't give them enough so they're satisfied. You just show just enough so that they feel like they have this loop in their mind where they have to close it. This open loop where they have to close it by watching later on, okay? So you just edit the first 30 seconds, and then the rest of the video, that can just be talking head or whatever, all right? Hopefully this video is helpful. Main thing is just focus on that idea, really get that dialed in, and then the hook and the content, make sure to put in some value, make sure that people actually feel good about having watched your video. Don't just put fluff out there because you won't do well at all. Yeah, that's basically it.